All right. And we are live, guys. Welcome back to the Blamegirl podcast with
Mr. Terry Wayne.
And we have Matt Ross in the house. What's up, Matt?
Hello.
We didn't get a chance to tell you before, but like we talk about our weekends and we kind of share the show while we're like right at the beginning before we get into the blames. So, like, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. I was in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Oh, wow.
With Dougie Almeida. Me and Danny went and featured for him. And it was actually very fun. It was really good. Those Midwestern folks, they
wholesome.
They have nothing better to do than laugh at us. So it was good.
Very wholesome. So how many shows did you do?
We did 3. We did 1 Friday and 2 Saturday.
Oh, wow. 2 Saturday. Late shows?
Yeah, 7:15 and 9:15 on Saturday.
Good crowds?
Yeah, I mean, the first show was probably like the hottest crowd I've performed for in a long time. The second show, still really good. Like a table of like 10 from the first show stayed for the second show.
Oh, wow, that's
made
dope.
it made it kind of weird because you're like, do I do my same act that I'm working on, or do I just mess around? But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that is really weird.
Like I said, man, I don't know. It's like I told them, I was like, if I was watching a movie with somebody and as soon as it ended, they were like, let's watch that again, I'd be like, you're a psycho.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't see myself doing that. Terry, how was your weekend?
Boring and awesome. So just
no elaboration.
No, I got a lot accomplished at my home. Everybody's talking about the supply chain's gonna be crazy. So my girl wanted me to put together some emergency prep kits, you know?
Yeah. That's smart. I did send you that article. It didn't make the cut, but
that's fine.
Wait, what's going on?
The global supply chain is in threat of being disrupted for a period coming up.
Interesting.
So she wanted some, we'll call them rations.
Unperishables.
Yeah, unperishables.
I better get some of those.
They're always good to have around anyway, and ramen's cheap. So
yeah, I was thinking that ramen, some tuna.
Yeah, canned food.
You can freeze bread. I don't know if y'all know that. That's how I grew up.
Yeah, I grew up.
Yeah, but it ruins the bread. That's the thing.
I never
like it's still edible, but it ain't good.
Nothing's better than bread on its first day. But if you rationing, bitch, I bet it'd be good to get some bread every now and again, you know. Or you can make your own bread. You can get.
That's the thing is I make my own. So
yeah, but if the supply chain's disrupted, you know, you can't get eggs or milk that you need to make the bread. You're not going to be able to make it, you know.
No, flour or yeast.
You know, I was gonna say I don't know how to make bread, so I don't really have a dog in this fight.
Yeah, most breads don't have any egg in it, so.
No, I don't make bread often.
I'm not making challah over here.
My weekend, since you asked.
I didn't. Never do.
No one ever does. I always have to introduce my weekend. My weekend was pretty cool. I went to a Halloween party on Saturday.
Oh, I know.
I feel like I did something on Friday. I can't remember what it was. And then Sunday night, I was at the Improv, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
How was the show last night?
It was great. It was really nice to finally be booked at the Improv again. I hadn't been there in like a year and a half or so. So it was fun. It was a great crowd, and, you know, I'm so much better than I was a year and a half ago, so it was even better. I just hope I get back there soon. So I loved it.
Nice.
Listen to her boasting.
Good, you deserve it.
Why is it always boasting when it's coming from me? I don't boast like that. That's like Chris Priester or, you know, like the black male comics. They do that shit. All right.
Oof. You're not wrong.
I know I'm not wrong. Anyway, all right, let's get on with the topics. So this first topic, it stood out to me. because it says like chemicals in shampoo and makeup, they're very harmful. They are causing cancer. So we use a lot of these harmful chemicals on the masses, and it's really to make our products last, guys. Who is to blame for this?
Corporate greed.
Yeah, I mean, not us.
But think
Pretty
about
obvious.
like this: if it's corporate greed, why would they want the products to last longer? Wouldn't you want them to, you know, not last as long, and so that they have to come back and consume more? So I don't
Um,
know. I thought about going with capitalism on this one, but I changed my mind. I don't know that that's the case. Matt, what do you think here?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think greed, but you make a great counterpoint that I didn't think of like, well, why would they want it to last longer? I would assume that's just like a manufacturing thing where they are constantly producing it and then it has to sit on the shelf somewhere in a warehouse until they can put it out, but they want to constantly have supply for the demand, and they don't care about what we use. I mean,
no.
the argument could be made that we could use natural remedies and stuff, but that's also that's more work on our part.
It's not even natural. It's just like, I mean, some of the stuff we'll get into, but I remember one thing that stood out is like using unscented products. How fucking hard is that? Not that hard.
No,
Um,
sure.
Terry, what are your thoughts?
Um, Matt kind of just killed your whole point there, which is they don't really care if it lasts longer for us. They care if it lasts long enough to sell. And you got to remember the only reason we're using this stuff in the first place is because it's the cheapest available option. Here's a great example of that. You remember the video about the turtle choking on a straw, right? Online that went viral. And then everybody's like, oh, we got to use paper straws, which, by the way, I'm not a fan of. I don't think anybody is. And
I don't care. I mean,
but here's the thing, like 3 weeks after that, I was working and I went through a McDonald's and they gave me a plastic straw. And I said, oh, that's weird. I thought everybody was doing the paper straws thing now. But I read the packaging on it and it said 100% plant-based and biodegradable.
okay.
And well, hang on, because I had to go and look it up. We've had that technology for like 15 years. They knew it. They knew it was better the whole time, but they could save a 16th of a cent on each straw if they did it the old way. So they just did it that way instead until somebody forced their hand.
Until they started killing things and then they had to correct
Well,
it.
no.
That's the
Until
thing.
people,
That's
until we, the consumer, popped up and said, hey, wait a second,
they were killing
So-
turtles.
Yeah, it's
So,
like their form of virtue signaling.
Yeah, exactly. And
Like, now we
it's up
care.
to us. It's us as the consumers to put the velvet ropes in place on where they can and can't go. Because the government's not going to do it.
so there's a chemical and it's called, I'm gonna say it wrong, but it's PHTH. Whoever sees that together, scientists, I guess. Phthalates. That's the chemical that's in all these products. Excuse me. That is like causing all this cancer. And so what they're saying that you should do is some of the things you should avoid: air fresheners and all plastics labeled as number 3, number 6, number 7. Avoid microwaving and machine dishwashing plastics. Ooh, I didn't see the machine dishwashing plastics. I do that.
Yeah, it's the heat. The heat on the plastic is what releases. That's like they say if you ever have a bottle of water and you leave it in your car for too long, never drink it because those chemicals seep into the water because of the heat, the reaction of the sunlight.
I've heard this, yeah, like
the water.
not to put your food into like a plastic container while it's piping hot. So it's like little things that you could just adjust. And then some other suggestions.
Or they could just stop fucking doing it.
Some other suggestions they have are using cleaning supplies without scents, use glass, stainless steel, ceramic to hold wood to hold and store foods, and buy fresh or frozen fruits and vegetables instead of canned and processed versions. So
I don't understand why the burden is on us.
Well,
Exactly.
that's a good point, Matt. Because
Huh?
I thought like a little
They
of the
could just
blame
stop making poison, you know.
could go on
That's-
the FDA, no, the Food and Drug Administration, who's in charge of regulating all this.
Right.
So
Like I shouldn't have to worry about putting hot food into a plastic container because it might give me cancer. They should just make a plastic container that won't give me cancer.
yeah.
That seems like the problem. But
I
again,
mean, let me just throw this out there. Plastics are bad for a whole another reason, and that's because that plastics are made with fossil fuels. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to switch from plastics to glass and ceramic. And I know next time I buy dishes for my leftovers, it's gonna be glass. I don't
well,
even microwave stuff though. I use the oven, but I do use my dishwasher very faithfully.
the you're forgetting about the good things about plastic, like the fact that we've created a whole new continent. You know, now there's 8 continents because off the western coast of the United States is a giant plastic
Well,
island that we've created.
okay, that doesn't sound good.
oh,
It
that's
isn't.
not good. It's very bad.
Sounds
But it
very-
actually breaks down into microplastics over time. It never fully dissolves, but it breaks down into microplastics. Then it gets eaten by sea life, and then you'll find it in your fish fillet soon.
Sounds tasty.
No,
Sounds tasty.
I mean, if you're
yeah,
eating
we all
filet, you already
look.
have an issue.
We have talked about
If
this
you're eating
before.
what, Matt?
I said if you're eating a fish fillet like from McDonald's, you already have an issue. Microplastics are probably the least of your worries. You know.
We've talked about this before, Gio. Humanity is too stupid to last. We just are.
Yeah.
Because of the answer, why are you destroying the planet? Why are you making bad decisions? Why are you putting poison in things? The answer is always the same. It's always
Money.
for money. It's the
Money.
stupidest, it's the
You know
dumbest
what?
fucking thing ever.
That's-
And our
that's an
species
inter-
deserves to be wiped out.
That's an interesting point because it's always money, except on our next story. Okay. Our next story, I can't figure out who's to blame here because in Delray Beach, that's here in Palm Beach County where we're located, a mural for the city's firefighters depicted 2 of the black firefighters as white. Y'all make it make sense. Who's to blame?
Whoever
Maybe-
painted it. I mean,
Yeah,
why-
maybe the artist ran out of brown.
Fucking apologists.
No, I'm just saying. I don't know why anybody would do that.
I'm not apologizing for it. I think whoever painted it, I mean, I don't know enough about the details, but either they were given the wrong thing to paint or they painted it and just didn't give a shit.
But why wasn't it corrected before the reveal?
That's another great point. Why did they not look at it and go, that's not how
She's a
this
black woman. He's a black man. I get one of them was a little light skinned, but one of them, the sister, she was dark. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think it was somebody truly being racist, or do you think it was somebody who's just
Be
not?
careful, Matt. She's going to call you an apologist if you try to find any logic behind it.
No, I'm just asking a question. I'm wondering
didn't-
where her head.
I
went.
know.
I
I
didn't-
know. He's just
I
asking a
don't even know
question.
what to call it. That's why I said make it make sense. So she was the first black assistant deputy fire chief in Boynton Beach. Her name is Latasha Clemens, and she's filed a lawsuit claiming defamation and negligence. And I can't really make sense of this story. Yeah, I said the city may be to blame, the artist, racism, but how did it get all the way revealed is my point. Like, did they just try it? Did everybody just was like, yo, she's too dark, make it? Is that really in 2021 where we're at?
No,
No.
I don't think that's the case. Because you always do this. This is when you and I always butt heads, is when you make it seem like everybody's intentionally bigoted these days. And I just don't feel like that's the case. I think that the really bigoted people, I think the really racist people, they're quiet, they're calm, they know they're in a dangerous environment for themselves. They don't come out and do overtly racist things like this because,
Well,
they
a lot
know.
of racism is passive. I agree with that, but this wasn't passive.
No, it's quiet. They look, nobody just says a racist joke, for instance. They look around first and then they say it. That's how it goes. Nobody's just overtly racist in 2021. But you can find it if you want to look for it, or you can see it where it wasn't meant to be.
You just think, what do you think? Who's to blame here?
I have no idea. I don't think anybody knows who's to blame on this particular one, just because we don't know the particulars behind what happened.
Her lawsuit is valid?
I think that she should have been able to make a complaint to either the department or the artist, and I think they should have corrected it if it bothered her. I think it should have never gotten to this level, but I don't know if she's got an axe to grind either.
So if it was you, say you had been a firefighter, and one of the first white males, okay, in a different world, clearly. But,
sure, yeah.
You know,
I can go with it. Yeah.
And they depict you as a black man.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel about that?
I'd be like, that's not me. Is that supposed to be me?
Yeah.
I said it doesn't look anything like me. It's kind of like you remember the Christ picture where the woman tried to fix it, but then she ended up making it terrible, and it looked like. Do you remember this? This was a story about 4 years ago. There's a famous picture in Portugal, or Spain, I mean, and the woman tried to fix it, but she fucking ruined it. She ruined it. It looked like a monkey after it was done. Wow. So, but she didn't mean to do that. She just fucked up, you know?
I mean, there's no way that this was intentional. I'm sorry. You can't be like, someone didn't mean to do this. Matt, do you think this was intentional? Or do you think it just was like an accident, maybe?
I would like to think it wasn't intentional. And also, if it is intentional, it's a very not smart way. Like, if I really think about how it would be intentional, it would be somebody whose name is on a paper somewhere intentionally being racist very publicly, which isn't a smart move. So like, if it was the painter per se, and he was like, fuck this, I'm not painting any black people on here. He's getting paid to do that, right? Mm-hmm. Now this is a headline. There's a lawsuit. He's never going to work again. So why would he do it that way? I mean, maybe if that's a statement he wants to make.
I just think it's funny that you think
Gio.
Wait, I think it's funny that he thinks he would never work again. Racism does sell in this country. We know it.
Not really. Not that well.
Our last president got elected.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but do you see many art critics at a Trump rally? Come on.
No, but there are Trump artists. Have you seen that? I don't. It's like.
Well, and that was my other point. My other point was: have you known many artists? How many of them seem, not progressive? Seriously, like how many backwoods artists are there really out there?
You think there's no racist artists? You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure there are.
I'm just saying it's rare.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the stereotype of what an artist is. It's more progressive, artsy, liberal people. But I mean, that's not a blanket statement for every artist. I'm sure there's racist artists.
No, I'm sure there's somebody out there with a chainsaw making, statues out of a tree trunk.
Art isn't just like the painting and this and that. Art is music, art is comedy. So yeah, there's definitely racist artists out there, and there's a market for racist art.
Right.
And maybe Delray Beach fucking hired one, and they did it and approved it. That's my problem with it.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. They approved it. I think regardless of whether or not we want to blame the artist, whether she did it on purpose or not, more than just that person are to blame, because why did nobody catch it before they unveiled it?
That's what I can't get past. It's like,
why are you conforming to the gender norms of saying he, she? What about they, them?
Well, no, I just don't know if I don't know if it's a girl, guy, they, Zimzer, whatever they are.
That's right. I identify as a trout.
Okay.
Way to distract from the conversation, Terry. Way to take it to a different direction from race.
Somebody's got to move this show along.
Thank you. So, but nonetheless, I don't know. It's just the craziest story, and I can't believe it fucking happened. You know what else I can't believe is happening? That these corporate employees are being called from their nice cush offices into the kitchen to work for one restaurant chain out of Texas. Y'all, who's to blame? Why is this happening? Why are corporate employees having to go to the front lines?
Um, I don't know if anybody's to blame. I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful. You need to realize people in charge should have to have. That's what I always said about Labor Day. You know, Labor Day is, oh, you take a day off so that the labor force can relax and enjoy themselves. No, no, no. Labor Day should be you get to switch positions with whoever is your mirrored opposite. Let them come down and work in a goddamn kitchen. It's good for you. And it reminds you. That's why that Undercover Boss show was so great, or at least I thought. Because it's like you go out there and push that fucking broom. Hey, Jeff Bezos, why don't you go piss in a bottle because you can't leave your station at the warehouse?
I
You
think it,
know?
I think it's important to know how to do the jobs from the bottom to the top. You get away from, like,
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I know I have my own business, right? And even though I have people working under me, I'm still doing what they do. You know, I'll have to schedule a hearing or send out mail or, um, and I think it's important also for attorneys that we work with to know how to do all that, but they don't. So it is because you never know when you're going to lose your workforce and you're going to have to do everything. So I like it. I like it. I think it's almost like a little co-op, if you will. You know, where everyone's equal. You have to come in, do your part in the kitchen. Matt, what do you think about this?
What restaurant is this?
It's called Raisin Cane, and it's in the Dallas area in Texas.
We love Canes. Canes is amazing. Have you guys ever had Canes?
No,
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's so fucking good. It's all chicken fingers. Which is why I asked, because it was like I don't want a CEO cooking my food, but surely they can figure out how to fry chicken.
I would
But
hope so.
yeah, I mean it can't be that hard. If they have 16-year-olds doing it for $8 an hour, I feel like they can probably figure it out.
I'm just saying, if you're making 7 figures a year, you know, you
Yeah,
should probably get your ass in the kitchen and learn how
I'm
to
gonna be
do
honest.
your
If
job.
I was making 7 figures a year, I would much rather be working in the kitchen frying French fries and chicken than dealing with whatever stressors a CEO or CFO has to deal with running an entire company. If I'm being honest.
yeah,
That being said, I mean, I don't really understand why everybody is having such a hard time finding employees, except for the fact that they're not paying them enough.
Well, yeah,
So
they never have. They've never paid them
they
enough.
haven't, right? I mean, we've all
I mean,
seen. I'm not exactly like looking into studies, but I've seen numbers here and there of like the average cost to live, from 30 years ago, and the minimum wage has gone up $2, and the cost to live has quadrupled.
Yeah.
So it
it's
just
fucking
doesn't make any
infuriating.
sense. So I think if we want to argue, I think we could. I not argue, but I think that
No, we want to argue.
no, the people who are being sent to the kitchen are the reason that they're being sent to the kitchen.
Yeah. Well,
Like
I think it's fantastic, and
I agree.
I've said it my whole life because I graduated early and went straight to work. So I've been working full time since I was 14 years old. You want to talk about 30 years ago and what it took to, cost of living and whatnot. But it all comes back to the same thing. It's just the same thing as we were talking about with the plastics. If they can save a nickel on a length of pipe, they're going to save that nickel, whether it has to come at your expense or the general safety or the
Now it seems like
livelihoods
it's
of
coming
any of
at
these
their
people.
expense.
Now
They
what?
will only allow us, they will only do what we allow them to do. And you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the top 5% that run this fucking place.
I,
They will do what we allow them to do. Because remember, if nobody goes to work at McDonald's tomorrow, McDonald's collapses.
Yeah,
The CEOs are not going to run that corporation.
Mr. Robot shit. But look, I will
Mm-hmm.
say this: the corporate employees, and maybe they're, they have to say this, but they're like, when asked about having to go and work in the kitchens, one quote is I absolutely love it. It breaks up the monotony of my day-to-day work, and I get to be out with this awesome crew. So I think,
Yeah.
you
Because
know,
what was he gonna say?
Yeah.
What was he gonna say?
I can't
This
believe I have to
sucks.
work
I
with
smell
these
like
fucking
French fries
nerdy
and shit.
people. Yeah.
It's not like they're gonna be like, this is disgusting.
yeah,
If he
he's
means
spitting
it,
out
great.
food. Like,
Yeah. I mean, that's wonderful if he means it, but I think you can't really say anything else.
yeah,
I love frying chicken. Everybody should come do it for $8 an hour in Dallas, Fort Worth
Yeah.
area. Like,
Sure.
oh no,
of course.
That's right. You can live in a one bedroom efficiency in the worst part of town
Right.
and work for 45 hours a week to barely do nothing.
Live, you need another job. That's the whole sad part of it all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
no, you can't.
Guys,
my
you know what?
last
Go
full-time
ahead.
job was started at 15.50, and then I got a 50-cent raise after a year, and I still live in a 3-bedroom house with 4 guys.
That's crazy.
Okay,
I
boomer.
didn't have a ton of stuff to like save. I'm luckily I'm decent with money, but I mean, and that's getting paid almost double what some people are being paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
My first job, you know how much it paid? $5.25 an hour, because that was the minimum wage at that point.
I remember those days. But I also remember the days where my rent, like I had a great efficiency in this awesome area in Houston, and I paid like $700-800, but under 800, like 7 something.
My first apartment was
awesome.
$500 a month.
It's awesome. Yeah.
No, it wasn't awesome. It was terrible, and it was in a terrible neighborhood, and I'm glad I survived.
Oh no, I never did that. But I'm just saying, like, my experiences right out of college, and then like you could afford it, but then it just at some point became so like kind of unaffordable. Like I spent my 30s fucking having to rent from people because I couldn't afford, and like my late 30s, very late 30s, early 40s, I can afford to have a place to myself here in this area. But
well, maybe those people should just work
degree,
harder.
so.
Isn't that always the counter argument? Maybe they should just work harder, or just be smarter. Or
I'm trying to pull myself up by my bootstraps, but
yeah,
not possible.
I feel like Queen Elizabeth needs some bootstraps or something these days. I didn't know how to transition that one, but anyway,
nice.
Queen Elizabeth's royal doctors have told her she has to quit drinking.
Fuck that. Drink more.
Who's to blame?
Get some of that Beefeater gin that you guys love over there so much, and go for it, man. How old is that woman?
She just lost her husband.
How old is she?
She's like early 90s.
Is she? I thought
let her do heroin. Who gives a shit?
I'm saying, like, when I'm that old, please let me do heroin. That's right. When I reserve the right to do heroin in my old age.
Actually, there's a great Norm Macdonald quote on that, and he said on Comedians in Cars was getting coffee, the Seinfeld thing. Mm-hmm. And she's 95, by the way.
Okay, thank you. I could not see it in the article later.
No, she's 95. But no. He said, remember when we were younger and we said we'll just do heroin when we turn 80? Mm-hmm. He goes, 80? What? He's like, I saw my 82-year-old man the other day. She had this big, huge, long bruise going all the way down her arm, all the way into her chest, this yellow and purple thing. And he's like, God, what happened there? And she goes, the wind.
Yeah.
He's like, so yeah, she's not doing heroin. You're crazy.
Yourself. You're so fragile at that point.
Yeah, you're not doing heroin. You don't hang around a whole lot of old people.
Do you think it's just the Jubilee, or her age? Like, maybe she can go back to having her 4 cocktails a day, after the Jubilee.
Who gives a shit?
So,
it's a pointless regime.
I guess what I want to know is, what is the value in keeping the queen alive?
There isn't one. They'd have to change the money, I guess.
Yeah, to me it means nothing because is she actually making any decisions or anything?
No, no, the royal family has zero to do with the British government.
I don't think they're trying to keep her alive either, per se. I think they just want her in tip-top shape for her jubilee. You know,
Yeah.
What is a jubilee? I don't know what that is.
They're celebrating her.
it's some celebration that they
Yeah.
do. It's when I think when she became queen.
Okay.
It's an anniversary, essentially.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, let the lady drink, you know,
Who
whatever.
gives a shit?
I
Let her
want to
do
drink
whatever
it
she wants.
she with the queen. Like,
So-
definitely let her drink.
Here's
Let
what
her
I-
spend the last week of her life doing whatever she wants.
Yeah, so here's what I want to know. If any other 95-year-old was told not to drink, whoever was taking care of said 95-year-old would probably just slowly remove alcohol from wherever they are, not serve it to them. Most 95-year-olds don't have it in them to go out, get all the stuff. Most 95-year-olds. But if you're the fucking queen, do they have the right to be like, no? Or can she just be like, fuck you?
Let me just interject here.
They have handlers.
Time to bring this up in that she produces gin on one of the properties and has like a little speakeasy where they go hang out.
Yeah, because the British love their gin.
She sounds
Right.
awesome. I'm
I
sorry.
used to love gin.
Well, the thing
I
is,
wanna do that with the queen.
they look. They used the royal family used to have a purpose. A king was used to actually be a king. A queen used to actually be a queen. But that hasn't been that way.
Pageantry now. Yeah.
No, it's all pageantry. That's exactly right. It's a false regime. But some people love it so much, especially a lot of the British folks. They love their royal family so much that.
About this royal family, they do.
Well, why do you think Meghan Markle and what's his name dipped out?
Yeah,
they dipped out because they didn't want the handlers anymore. Because each member of the royal family has their own handler. So Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, they would have had their own individual handlers, tell them what they can't do, protect the image of the royal family.
Do y'all think she's drinking more now that she's lost Prince Philip?
No, I don't think that has anything to do with it.
Yeah.
I would assume probably.
Do you think so? Yeah.
I mean,
Well, Prince Philip wasn't an awesome dude. So
4 pills a day? 4?
yeah, but he wasn't an awesome dude. I don't think anybody that is that good of friends with the world's most known sex trafficker.
You're thinking of the wrong guy.
Oh, am I? Oh, that's Prince Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
not
his
Prince
son.
Philip. That's right.
That's his son.
My bad. You're right. I made a mistake
So
there. But
say,
still,
up until the recent medical advice, the queen had a drink most evenings, typically a glass of sweet wine with dinner, then often a dry martini in the evenings, as well as the occasional glass of wine before bed. It's also been regularly reported that the queen is a fan of Dubonnet and gin. So, I mean, it's just high class shit. That's how you eat and that's how you dine at night. And, and now they're like trying to take it away from her.
Yeah.
And she's
but
like,
who gives a shit?
Let the lady drink.
Let her just die already.
Well, I'm
What?
not saying that. I'm just saying let her drink.
I'm sure she would welcome it at this point. If I was, imagine being 95. I'm 40 and I'm like, how many more days are there? You know what I mean?
No, I get what you're saying. Like,
It just wears you, life wears you down.
107, and she did not make it seem like it was fun.
No, it isn't.
I don't want to live. I don't know if I want to live to be that old.
It can't be that fun.
So, all right, guys. It's time to really welcome the wholesome comedian Matt Ross to the show.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
You sound so excited to be here.
I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah, you might want to tell your face.
Yeah, I need some more.
Hi, everybody.
Your mustache is hiding your smile, man. All right. So, Matt, welcome to the show. We're gonna ask you some like generic comedy questions. It might seem a little cheesy, but please, play along. So how long?
Very cheesy. Go ahead.
I'm gonna fuck you up, Terry. All right. How long have you been doing comedy?
August was 2 years, so just a little over 2 years.
Oh, so less than me, huh?
Less than you. Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Man's world, honey.
It's not that. Have you seen Matt's comedy? He's very funny.
I didn't say that. I just said it's a man's world.
It's not a man's world. It is a man's world. I will
Yeah.
say you're right. But I'm not. That's not what I'm saying.
I will
About
say though, a woman.
We'll fix racism, but misogyny is going to stick around for a while.
I will say though, it is a man's world. Not that that's right or wrong, but that a good female comic can stick out of the pack.
Yeah.
More than just some other white guy.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
There's not, and I don't think that I think that's because there's just not a lot of us out here, you know, like when comics are looking for female comedians, it's like a very short list to offer, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I agree. I've heard people say that there aren't that many funny female comics, and I don't I think that's just simply a numbers game.
Yeah, there's just not as many female comics. It's kind of like Chris Rock said after 10 years of being in Hollywood. Chris Rock said, he says, I love being a black actor now. He's like, you because when they're casting a part, there's a million white actors, there's a million white male actors anywhere you want to go. He's like, there's 10 brothers, you know. Like, I'm getting way more work now by being a decent black male actor than I ever would by being a great white male actor.
Yeah.
Just it's like Matt said, it's just a numbers game.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't disagree with that. Like I'm getting good opportunities, but still, like, anyway, this is not about me and not about, like, I don't even know how we went down that road. But so you've been doing it 2 years. What was your motivation that got you into doing it? Like, why did you start?
Well, I always liked comedy. Like when I was young, I used to watch. I remember like the first thing I ever watched was remember Comedy Central in the middle of the night would play like unedited shit.
Yeah, the
Girls Gone Wild commercials.
Yeah, evening at the Improvs.
So I watched the first special I ever watched was Eddie Murphy's Delirious, and I don't remember any of it, but I remember.
That's a good way to start.
I know. And
yeah, that shit was like, I was young when that came out, and I mean, it resonated, you know.
Right. So I always watch comedy, and then I always liked it, and then I got like bad on drugs for a while, and I stopped watching it, and wasn't really a part of my life. When I got sober, one of my roommates showed me a Tom Segura special. The roommate actually who looks like Terry. So and
I love Tom Segura.
I love Segura. I just saw him a couple of weeks ago.
Y'all ever lived together? Maybe.
No, I don't think so.
And I started watching it again, and then I started like just like writing jokes in my phone. I would go eat with my friends every week, and I would always just like hold court and just like try to fucking make people laugh. And you know what's really funny is I went to the Improv, and someone, whoever the host was, who I won't name, but I saw them host, and I thought to myself, I can definitely do this. Like,
I sound like some man shit.
Why wouldn't you mention them by name?
No, because it's not complimentary.
Oh, you mean like if I watch them, if they can do this, I can do this. Yeah. That's what you're saying.
So that was the feeling I had.
He didn't call him arrogant. I'm just saying. Okay.
What?
He didn't call you cocky.
No. So
who? What?
You called me cocky when I just bragged a little bit.
I think I just called him cocky. I think that's what I was saying.
To be fair, I also had no idea how hard stand-up comedy was at this moment.
Right.
And so I did it. I went to backstage, and I went up and probably bombed, but I felt good after. And yeah, that was it.
I mean, that's how a lot of people get started, is they watch somebody else do not awesome, and they're like, well, I can do this, you know.
Put up with that. I can put up with that amount of, you know.
Yeah.
I've always thought
it's a very common tale.
Yeah, I think I've always thought it's either one of the two. It's either like they watch somebody just have a crowd in their hand, and they're just like, that's amazing, I want to learn how to do that, or they watch somebody and they think I could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I notice that guys think that a lot. No shade, guys, but I just do. I do notice that. But
Yeah.
so, but you've actually really excelled at comedy. Like you're traveling, you do comedy when you go around the country. We'll
Yeah.
get to that in a little bit. But so far, like, what's been your proudest moment?
Um, man, that's a good question. I don't know. My proudest moment. Um, I mean, just like the opportunities that I've made for myself recently have been cool. My proud. I don't know if this is like necessarily my proudest, but like one of the first couple out of town shows I got booked on was in Oklahoma at the Bricktown Comedy Club, and I had 15 minutes there in front of my family, and a lot of my friends came out, and it was the first weekend that they went back to full capacity, so it was sold out, and it was that was just a cool experience. Had a great set in front of the people who I loved. So
That's awesome. So one of your
That
proudest.
always makes it better when
yeah,
you get your people out there and you're like, look what I did. You know?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Look
especially
what I can do.
I have my friends out here who have seen me perform at good or bad shows. And but people in Oklahoma, they get the little snippets I may or may not post here and there, but they don't know. They have no idea. So it was cool to like go there and do it in front of like in a real place, because comedy can look bad even if it's good. If you're at a shit venue. Um, so it was cool to get to do it on a good stage in front of a good crowd and have people see me and go, oh, okay, he's not wasting his time completely.
Yeah, I get that.
You're not wrong.
Like
Yeah.
my
I'll take a
mom,
great audience at a pizza restaurant over a bad audience at the Improv.
my
True.
mom, when she came out to see me, I mean, she's a older black woman, so the laughs on that video, like I was like, man, she's a good laugher. I wish I could take her to every show because she was
Yeah.
like, aha, ha, 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 ha. Like
Yeah.
I want that on my fucking videos. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
family being at the show is like crucial. So
Yeah,
what?
it was cool. It was cool. And my gran had just been vaccinated, and so she got to
Oh
come out. She's like in her 80s.
yeah,
So
See,
I
you guys are being all nice about it though. Like I like to have my family out at a show where I crush it, and they get to see a whole audience going crazy for me, and I'm like, see, look who's a failure now.
yeah.
You know?
I can't even pretend to understand. Like my family's so supportive of my comedy, but I also used to be addicted to heroin. So I feel like they're like, whatever you got to do.
Whatever's not heroin.
yeah.
Great
They're like, this
job.
is a good path, son. This is a good path. It's not like you were on your way to being a doctor and then you're like, I'm gonna be.
No, see, my family's very competitive, right? We've always been very competitive with one another. So there's that real drive to like, I mean, I only started comedy because somebody told me I couldn't. And I'm like, you can't do that. And I was like, fine. And here I am 10 years later,
My
still
mother,
proving it.
my mother definitely told me I wasn't funny, but you know what? My mother loves my comedy now, and just like my sister is an author, so she's like one of my sister's biggest fans, and it's weird. So I love her anyway. So Matt, what is your favorite favorite venue to perform at?
And what can you not say?
The Improv.
I can't say the
Yes.
improv. I mean, I
Can't
love
say any improv, any A room. It's too easy.
I don't know that I would even say that, to be honest. I mean, I love the Palm Beach Improv, but if God, let me think. I have a weird place for Gatsby's in Fort Lauderdale. Like,
What
I
about
Yeah.
it?
love it. I've done like the open mic there about 100 times, and I've done other book shows there, but I don't know. I don't know. Like, if I sat down and thought about it, there's probably a place or two more that I like, but like that place always.
Just go with your heart.
That's
Yeah,
where my
no,
heart's at.
Gatsby's is a great room. So
Gatsby's
I
has a
don't hate
great
that.
vibe to it.
Yeah.
It's a great room. It's got a great vibe. It's perfect for comedy.
Great host, like
Good food.
I've had
Yeah.
a lot of fun there.
definitely.
Even doing like the 11:30 like last two slots at the open mic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
rough,
fun.
but yeah, it's rough, but it's still people there that will react to your material. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah. And I mean, all the book shows I've done there have just been fucking great. So
so that's your answer. Gatsby's is your favorite
that,
venue.
Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, right now, yes.
Okay.
Well,
No,
since you can't say
nobody's locking you in here.
Right.
This isn't going to the Library of Congress. It's fine.
what what's been your greatest challenge doing all this?
Just the like mental aspect of it. The the vulnerability of comedy is sometimes underestimated, I think. Like where you are literally just night after night putting yourself on stage and just being like, these are things I thought of, and immediately knowing if people think your thoughts are stupid or not. You know, and then there's the up and down of like a joke is working and then it's not working, or it worked at this show and it didn't work at this show. And there's just so many intricate little things that can just like drive somebody insane. I think that's probably been the biggest difficulty for me. But it's like also like I've accepted that it's just a part of the process.
There you go. I think like, I constantly have these discussions about all these frustrations I have. But then on the flip side, I feel very lucky to be where I'm at in my comedy journey.
Yeah.
And it's like you just got to balance it out. So,
Right, right.
Did you just say comedy journey?
what did you ask me, Darren?
In my comedy journey.
All right. Anyway, so you've been traveling and doing comedy. Tell us about that. Like, where have you been? What did you like about it?
I've been to Nashville, Chicago, Oklahoma, like I mentioned. I've been in Austin and Dallas.
You just taking comedy trips, or are you going to visit people and then like I'm gonna do comedy while I'm out here? What's the deal?
Mostly just to do shows.
Where did you perform in Nashville?
Comedy bar.
That's my state.
Oh, dude, I fucking love Nashville. Nashville's probably one of my favorite places to go.
Oh,
Just
it's great, man. Downtown
Nashville.
Broadway.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, just people watch there. I like East Nashville. It's cute and shit, artsy. But I've been to a bunch of places. It's mainly just me just like, so I like look around here and like there's a lot of good comics. And like, so my question that I ask myself all the time is like, what are they not doing that I could do? And part of that, like the first thing that came to my mind was traveling. And so a lot of it is just me reaching out. And then once you start making relationships, it gets easier. Other people know other people. So I'll just like book shows, go. In Nashville, I have somebody that I stay with, my friend. So that makes it easy. Sometimes I'm in an Airbnb, it just depends.
I noticed like because you were in Austin, like when I was in Austin, I'm from there, and
Yeah.
you were there at a book show, and I was like, how did he do this?
Yeah. So me and Danny went to Austin, I don't know, a while back and just did some like open mics, and I met some people there. And then one of the people I was on the show with in Oklahoma runs a show at the Creek in the Cave. And so knowing these people were in Austin, I was visiting my family, and Austin's like a 5-hour drive. And I was like, you know what, let me see what I can do. And I put together 3 shows and
Yeah.
just drove down there, stayed
like
the night there with my brother.
the Romo room, where I was saying like my mom came to the show and she was laughing like crazy. It was at the Romo room when it first started. It was like in this little like dentist office. It was like very small. So I brought my family. Yeah, it was like pretty new. And when
it's and it makes it so much easier, Matt, when you have a running partner. You know what I mean? You keep each other motivated, you help each other feel more secure so you can go out and do these things. Like every time any young comic has asked me, how do you progress fast? And I said, get somebody to run with. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Just find somebody you think is funny, make friends, and go run with them.
That's true.
Yeah, you got to have people around you who will push you. Like a lot of my travels have been alone, but like being in Austin with Danny, like he was like, let's do this mic and that mic. And there was part of me that was like, let's just go eat. Like, so it is. Yeah, you got to have
See,
Gotta
see,
eat it.
that's what I would be thinking. I'd be thinking, let's get to Franklin Barbecue real quick.
Right,
That
right.
used
Yeah.
to be my
Yeah.
grind when I got home because I'm from there and I know like all the places I want to go eat. But
Mm.
Yeah.
this time I was like, I am going to Mike's, and I did them like I was here. You know, I went like every night and hopefully made some connections. But
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go
Well, you
back.
can do both. You know,
I think
there's
I'm
like a
gonna go
whole
back in
period.
November, and I want to be able to be on some book shows when I go back, and not have to just resort to the open mic. So, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
There's this whole period of the day when the sun is out
Mhm.
where comedy's not happening. So you can do both.
More,
It's
Terry.
fine.
Mansplain to me some more, Terry. I
Oh,
always
how the
know
sun
when you're
works?
doing it 'cause
Sure.
you get a tone. You have a tone. See, Matt, this is what I'm talking about. Anyway, Matt, tell us who you are. Who is Matt? Like, where are you from? How long you been in Florida? What's your day job? I think you have a podcast.
I'm from Oklahoma. I lived there my entire life, Oklahoma City, which is actually pretty cool. I mean, it's gotten better since I left, and I don't say that as a joke. It literally has. Like, it's
Oklahoma
Mm.
City. I don't know. I don't know.
Oklahoma.
When I was last time I was there, it didn't seem very cool.
When were you there?
2015.
Okay, yeah. So that's actually about when I left. I left in the
Mm.
middle of 2016, and
Yeah.
they've done a lot since. But yeah, I grew up there, and then I went to rehab, which is how my relocation started. I went to rehab in Texas, and then they sent me to a halfway house in West Palm Beach. I ended up moving out of that halfway house into this home that you guys see behind me today, and I've been here for a couple years now.
With 3 roommates. I
So,
remember.
Yeah, so at one point it was just 3 of us in total in this 3-bedroom home. And then we have a back like family room that we've never used. So we were like, hey, somebody can sleep back there. And then my old roommate built a fucking wall and made a room.
Nice.
So it's nice until I have to move out in May. I don't know how to take down that wall, and he's gone. He's in Texas. So
oh
Oh.
shit.
yeah, we'll see. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
But yeah, so
If you
that's
need
how-
some help, I
Yeah.
work in the industry.
yeah, okay, I'll let you know. But
Well, speaking of work, what do you do? Because comedy doesn't pay enough for anybody to live. So what do you do for money?
yeah, I mean, so right now I like I worked construction for a little while actually, with one of my friends, and then I stopped doing that. I like drive Lyft sometimes. I do delivery stuff. I have somebody who I know who's a property manager of a bunch of houses that'll give me work. So really just doing random shit here and there.
Just
and
piecework. Wherever you find a
Work
piece, you just
while
grab
I-
it.
Contracts. That's what's
Yeah.
best for comedy. I gotta say that. Like it'll give you the flexibility to be able to move
Yeah.
around and be out late, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I can do whatever I want, within reason, so long as the bills are being paid. Because I worked a 9 to 5 for like 3 years at a rehab, and it was good, and I liked it. But eventually, it just late nights, early mornings, not having to put in PTO requests to go anywhere. Eventually, it just wasn't working out.
Don't you have a podcast?
Yeah, I have a podcast. You can listen to the episodes. We haven't done an episode in a while. I don't know if we're gonna keep doing it or not.
Do teenagers yell?
Me
Yeah,
neither. I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep doing this.
What a way
She
to
keeps flipping me off. It's going to be
yeah, Terry,
shorter.
what a way to announce it. All right. But, do teenagers yell? That's an interesting name. How did y'all
Yeah.
come up with that?
So when the pandemic first hit and we were all like, there was literally nothing to do, a couple of us got together, which we probably shouldn't have done, but it was me, Danny, Freddie, Finnerty, and I forget who else was there. I don't know if anybody else was there, but we were just filming like dumb sketches and shit, and one of them was like a fake podcast intro. And so we were just thinking of like absurd names, and Do Teenagers Yell is what Danny figured out. And then months later, when we decided that we actually wanted to do a podcast, that's what he thought of. and I liked it because it was absurd enough to like stick in people's heads, and
Yeah, it is. It is.
you
That's
know.
a good catchy name. Terry, you got anything else before we go to the blame game?
Do I have anything else? No, I've just been waiting for the blame game because I've wanted to talk about this
All right.
this entire podcast. So.
Okay, so Matt, we always play the blame game. Are you ready to play the blame game?
I think so.
I don't know. You don't sound ready.
I mean, I don't know what it is, but I think I'm ready.
We'll find
Might
out.
get blamed. I don't know. So the mustache state. Who's to blame, Matt? Why?
Do you feel like having a pedophile stash has held you back in comedy in any way?
I think the stash has helped. I will tell you guys the story behind the stash, though.
Okay.
Please do. I have one as well, so you're not alone,
right?
brother.
I think everybody does. So, I always, this is something that I do often as a joke, where I would let it grow out, shave it. I've got pictures of myself, but it was always, I mean, it looked basically like this that I got on my chin up here. It was gross, and I never really like pushed through to the other side. I didn't know that this existed. But earlier this year, I was dating somebody, and it was long distance. So we would FaceTime, and she was like, I actually really like the mustache. Keep it until I see you. And this was like February, and she was going to come down in April. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I don't have, I'm not out here trying to impress anybody, with it here because she's there. So I was like, screw it. And then we ended up breaking up. But in the meantime, I discovered that I actually could grow a somewhat real mustache. And
no, it's real. It's not somewhat real. No, it's a real mustache.
He was a baby face when he started. I remember.
Right.
Well, I'll say this. All kidding aside, it does give your face a lot more character. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at you and I'm picturing you without it because I'm the same way. If I shave, like I like to keep it short, just a stubble kind of thing. But if I shave, I look like I'm going to repossess somebody's house. You know what I mean? Like I look good.
Awful. It
makes me take you less seriously. I will say
my mustache does. See, I've heard the opposite from people. I've heard people say that it actually makes them take me more serious because I don't look, because I do have a very like baby like face whenever it's shaved. I never shave totally.
Yeah, but now with the groomed hair and the groomed hair and the shaven face and just the mustache, he looks like he should be a guard at a concentration camp or something.
Video, like, come on, Matt.
Yeah, I hear porn a lot, which is fine.
That's why I went concentration camp. You see, you gotta be original.
Packages, you know what I'm saying? All right, I won't go there. But anyway, Matt, do you have anything you want to promote?
Honestly, no. I have a show this weekend. I don't even know where it is though. So if you want, listen to the episodes that are up of our podcast. Do Teenagers Yell? If there's anybody watching who doesn't know who I am, follow my Instagram. It's just Matt Ross Comic. And that's
if they don't want to listen to the podcast, just give them the abbreviated versions. Do Teenagers Yell?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I figured they did.
Yeah. No, that wasn't an answer. We don't know. We're trying to figure. If
I have a teenager, they better not fucking yell at me. That's all I know.
I was a teenager, and we was yelling all the time.
Listen, it's inconclusive.
I would not yell at my mom.
It's inconclusive.
All right. Thank you, Matt.
I'm from the South. My mama punched me in the chest.
Terry Wayne, do you have words for white people this week?
Or is it no, I have words for all people this week. But kind of, I'm gonna go a subsection, right? We have words for all people, but kind of especially white people, right? Okay. And that is appreciation, right? We've talked about it before, but I wanted to bring it back up again because everything's still kind of shit. Everything's really just still kind of shit these days. And my father always raised me in a very particular way. He said that the key to happiness in life and the key to beating depression is appreciation, because there's always somebody that's got it rougher. There's always the fact that you're even born in America puts you in like that top 15% right off the fucking bat. So the poorest homeless man with mental issues in America is still better off than the best guy in a village in Zimbabwe. You know what I mean? Or a rice paddy in Vietnam. So just try to remember to be appreciative for what it is you have. You know, take it easy on yourself. Give yourself a break. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Yes, that's true. But also remember how fucking good you have it. Because if you're listening to me right now on your personal electronic device, you've probably got it pretty fucking decent. But because of that same personal device, we stare at the internet and Instagram, and we stare at each other, and we're always looking in our neighbor's bowl to see how much more they have than we have. And you should never do that. You only look in your neighbor's bowl to make sure they have enough. That's it. You never look at it and say, I don't have enough, because now you're throwing it in the face of everybody that doesn't have as much as you. So yeah, we all have our problems. We all have our crosses to bear. Everyone knows this. And we're all unique in that way. But at the end of the day, you just got to thank God or Allah or the universe or whoever you believe in, whatever you believe in. Even if you're just an atheist and you just believe in the mathematical possibility of the 500 billion chance that you are who you are, you got to be appreciative. You got to be thankful.
I like it. I love it. You know why I love it? Because when I was a teacher, I used to tell these kids, I taught world geography, and after we taught Southwest Asia, because it's not the Middle East, that's a misnomer. We taught Southwest Asia. I'm like, just be blessed you're not a 13-year-old Afghanistan girl being married off to some old man, because that's legal there. You know, like, life could be much worse for you.
Let me tell you a real quick story just to show you where this all came from. You know, my father's a pastor, right?
I do.
But he's been a missionary for decades. So he's been to Africa many times. And one time he came back and he had gone to Nigeria, and he came back. He was like, man, I was in this little village out in the middle of nowhere. And he said, I saw these two kids and they were doing something. I thought they were playing in the dirt, but they weren't. And as I investigated it, what happened was there was a big pile of animal dung, and they were digging through it to find pieces of undigested fruit so they could wash it and eat it. So if you're not looking through rhino shit for food, then you've got it better than somebody.
True.
Life will make a way, you know. Life will make a way. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in this week.
Come out and see us on the Wizard of Oz tour.
Terry, do you have any dates you want to promote?
Just Gatsby's next week?
That's next week, yes. I am gonna be at, it's called Hakuna Makava, and it's gonna be in West Palm Beach on Thursday. It's a contest. So if anybody wants to come out, please feel free. Shut the fuck up.
I just love that name.
Hakuna Makava.
Hakuna Makava. These fucking
Hakuna Makava. God,
lamest shit.
I know. It's like every
you need a catchy name for your business. Like
it's like every salon that I've ever seen that's called Curl Up and Die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, you can catch me at Hakuna Makava on Thursday. And then
every time you say
it, I can't keep track of my dates anymore. And then Terry, we're at Fins and Things on Saturday, we believe.
Yeah.
And
Saturday.
then next week we're at Gatsby's. The Wizards of Oz tour is at Gatsby's next Wednesday, and I'm at Hennessy's new room next Thursday. Guest spot.
What's Hennessy's new room?
I think it's something at the Terrace. I'll tell y'all next week. But
no, you're gonna text me because I want to know why I'm not there. I've known him since he started.
I'll tell you. Let's get off of here and I'll tell you. All right, guys. Until next week.
Go Titans. Playing tonight.